for him to say, I don't know what I'm getting into. He don't know what he's getting into.
All right, bud, we're finally here. Months build up to this fight. Some would say years. You guys faced off at the Bellagio Fountains. The city's abuzz. When did you realize how big of a fight this is?
Well, I realized, what bigger fight is there in the sport of boxing than Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford.
One of the biggest storylines of this fight is obviously you moving up in weight. Canelo says you don't know what you're getting into. Is the weight difference is there too much being made of that?
Of course, he's been a smaller guy moving up in weight as well. So for him to say, I don't know what I'm getting into, he don't know what he's getting into. But I'm going to see what I'm getting into come Saturday, and so is he. Other
than what I assume is like nutrition, what other adjustments have you made in this camp to kind of combat the moving up in weight so doesn't make a difference?
It doesn't make a difference. I got the skills to pay the bills, and come Saturday, I'm going to display all the skills that's needed to win.
I finally got a chance to watch the Netflix doc. I felt watching it, the theme was that Canelo's the guy that's kind of been gifted all these opportunities, amassed a ton of wealth. He's a global superstar. And you're the guy that stayed home in Omaha, Nebraska to train and live and haven't been given the opportunities that he has. Do you feel that's reality, or is that just kind of the theme of the documentary?
It's not a theme, it's reality. When you look at my career and you look at his career, he had the support since he's been an amateur. The guy turned pro at 15. You know what I mean? So he had money behind him since he was 15 years old. For them to say, all right, we're not doing this amateur thing no more. Let's move you into professional rankings at 15. So he already had people to believe in him and put the money behind him and get him, in the best camps, put him in the best situations. All he had to do was focus on boxing. Never had that, you know what I mean? So even moving up in the rankings, he had the support before he even was Canelo Alvarez.
Your roots in Omaha are obviously very important to you. Why has it been so important for you to not make that leap to a bigger city and stay rooted and live and train in Omaha?
Because that's what everybody do. When you look at the landscape of things, the only people that stayed in Omaha that's, mega stars is Warren Buffett, Terence Crawford. You got a few other ones. Like, let me not say just me and him, but you got a few other ones. But like for the most part, like actors and things like that, people that's real successful, they make it and they out of there and they don't look back.
There is no rematch clause in this fight. Is that something that was discussed, or have you thought about what happens regardless of what the outcome of this fight?
There don't need to be no rematch clause. I'm gonna win, and that's that.
Obviously, Dana White is the one promoting this fight, his ties to the UFC. The biggest star in the UFC right now, Ilia Topuria, went viral the other day saying that if someone asked him what would happen if you guys stepped in the boxing ring, he said he'd knock you out in the first round. Obviously, that's a wild statement, and we always talk about the difference in punching power between MMA and boxing. What is the biggest difference, and why is he crazy for saying that?
He's just looking for a check. He want to be Conor McGregor, you know what I mean? Like, hey, everybody see how successful Conor and Mayweather was, and, and Ngannou and Tyson Fury. So, of course, people want to do the crossover thing. He just seen the opportunity to take a shot at, top fighter, which in reality, he has no chance. In the octagon, it's a different story. You know what I mean? But in the boxing ring, he has no chance.
Final thoughts and predictions for Saturday night?
A victory.